iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office, it's open, my friends. All right, guys, what a day. It's not good news for Red Sox Nation. They've got two injuries we need to discuss, and one is really bad. I'll wait on that one first. The first one, Hanley Ramirez will not be playing in the WBC. Got a shoulder injury, not 100%. And I would say right now that he's looking at as a DH and not a first baseman. Mitch Moreland will play a lot more first base in the beginning part of the year until Hanley Ramirez could figure out the shoulder soreness. They need him to make 4 at-bats a game. Can he do it? I don't know. What I'm more concerned about is the next injury. Jim Bowden, our friend at SiriusXM, Fantasy Sports Radio, David Price had an MRI in his elbow and will get a second opinion. He will not make his next start. He's going to see Dr. James Andrews. Nothing good happens at Dr. James Andrews. The best news is you need rest. The worst news is got Tommy John surgery. Now, we were just talking about this morning. It was interesting because our producer, Tim Reardon, was telling me how much he didn't like Eduardo Rodriguez. And I was saying how much I liked Eduardo Rodriguez. And now you better get to know Eduardo Rodriguez because there's a good chance that if David Price is out, Eduardo Rodriguez is in. Now, I am absolutely crushed. I'm crushed for the Red Sox. Look, am I a Red Sox fan? I'm really not. I'm not. My father-in-law is about the biggest Red Sox fan on the face of the earth. But I'm not. But do I wish a team ill? Do I wish a team had to have injuries? No, I don't. I never want that. I want David Price to have a great year. I want my team to beat another team at their best, not because 5 guys are out. That doesn't make me feel better. Because there's always an asterisk. Well, if Price wasn't injured, we would have been there. I don't ever want to hear that. I want you at your best, me at my best, and I want to beat you. That's what I want. But this is a big loss. So here we are. Are we 2 weeks into the season and Alex Reyes is done and David Price is done? How many more? How many more is it going to take to be done? How many more is it going to take for us to be done? I worry about this. I do. I love fantasy sports. But I worry about the injuries and how it affects people. Now, this is one of the reasons why you should never draft too far in advance, because guys get injured. Now, luckily, I don't have David Price anywhere. I'm okay with that. Wasn't my guy. I liked him this year. I know he just met with Steve Gardner, and I know he was expecting to have a great year. And then this happens. It's one of the things that daily fantasy players don't really think about. Daily fantasy players, I truly believe that many of them, not all, many of them, don't really know the teams that well. They know numbers. They're numbers guys. They're computer algo guys. Whether David Price pitches for them or not doesn't make a difference to them. They just want to know who's pitching for the Boston Red Sox. It's the seasonal players. It's the diehard fans. We know, and it's a crushing blow. David Price not there for our seasonal teams. Oh my God, that's awful. It's awful. So my best to him, my best to the Red Sox. I hope it's good news, but I wouldn't bet on it. David Wright has confirmed that he's dealing with a right shoulder impingement. He's not going to throw for a couple of weeks. So what, it's March 2nd now? This guy's not throwing at least until March 15th. And then he's got to get ready to play? I don't think he starts the season with the team. I personally think he's done. I do. I think he's done. But he doesn't believe that. He doesn't believe that. I want to get back to something here. I'm looking at a piece of news here. Anthony DiScalfani, he was scratched with a tenderness in his right elbow, and he went to a doctor, and the doctor, it checked out fine. So I want to get back to David Price. Look, it doesn't mean Tommy John, but more often than not, when these guys go in, it does. So let's keep our fingers crossed completely and utterly for David Price. All right, time now to discuss the Los Angeles Dodgers, and let's do our preview of the Dodgers. First at catcher, Yasmani Grandal. I like him. I mean, he's never going to be a high average guy, but he's going to be solid. The runs scored are low, that's true. But he's got home run. I mean, he had 27 home runs last year, and he had 72 RBIs. I don't know if we're going to see that again, but I think we've got a pretty good player here. Right? We've got a pretty good player here on our hands, and he's certainly a top 10 catcher. Probably in that 8, 9, 10 range. So you want to go get him? I have no problem with him. I like him more in on-base percentage leagues than batting average leagues. Like in Tout Wars, on-base percentage was 340, 339. I mean, that's pretty good numbers. So I'm more in on him there than I would be in a batting average league where his 230 could kill you. Adrian Gonzalez is the first baseman, and the decline is happening. It's real. And it's coming quickly. 2 years ago, he was at 2890, 275. Last year was 1890, 285. I think he's on his way down. Is he on his way out? No. But in the National League, there's no DH, right? And the Dodgers' top prospect is Cody Bellinger. This is a very good young hitter. Okay? Last year in Double-A, he had 23 home runs. Hit 263 with 23 home runs. This is a player. He's on the rise. So the question is, for how long can they keep Bellinger down? Clearly, they don't want to start him in this year in the majors. Now, he's going to play a little bit in the outfield in the spring, but they don't want to bring him in this year. They really don't. They want to groom him in AAA at least for a year. If I'm the Dodgers, optimally, I want to bring Bellinger in a year from June, right? Super 2 next year. But if Gonzalez sucks, or if the outfield's a problem, or if they make a trade, then they'll change that. So keep your eye on Cody Bellinger, especially in dynasty leagues. But there you go on Adrian Gonzalez. There's still RBIs there. There's still a batting average there. But I'm not sold on him. He's not on my radar. I am looking at Logan Forsythe, though, who I think is just a very interesting player. This is not a sexy player. But he hits for a decent average. Has a little power. Not much speed, but going to give you 5 or 10. But they traded Jose De Leon to get him because they knew that they couldn't go with Chase Utley anymore. So Forsythe represents a good, solid hitter in the lineup. And very important now, if Adrian Gonzalez is not 100% and Cody Bellinger is not ready, you can move Logan Forsythe to first base, which he played last year for the Rays, and you can move Chase Utley to second. Right? And Forsythe can play third. He can play all over the place. He's a great guy that you could move all over the place. A lot like Ben Zobrist. The Rays always specialize in guys like that. So I think there's always a spot for Forsythe on this team. Tell you who there's a spot for on my fantasy team. Corey Seager. Oh, yes, there is. In his first year, the dude hit 300 with 26 home runs. He's 22 years old. He's 22 years old. He's only going to be getting better and better. If I'm starting a dynasty league, this guy is right there in my list of top 5 picks. I'm going to build around Corey Seager, and I know the Dodgers are going to build around Corey Seager. So really, keep your eye on him. I think he's a low first, high second round pick in drafts. If you want to take him at like 16 or something like that, 17, I'm just fine with that. Adam Ronis likes Justin Turner more than I do. But that said, I don't dislike him. he really showed that when he got close to 600 at-bats, he had power. The guy hit 27 home runs and 90 RBIs. Am I going to see a repeat of that last year's performance? So here's what I tend to do. 2 years ago, he had 16 home runs and 60 RBIs and hit 294. Last year, he had 27 home runs and 90 RBIs and hit 275. What if I split the difference all the way through? So he hits 285, 22 home runs, 72 RBIs. Can I live with that? Yeah, it's a pretty good player. Is it a star? No, but it's consistent. It's a consistently good player, and I like him. I like Nick Castellanos more. I like Maikel Franco more. I like Jake Blam way more. But I like what Justin Turner offers. All right, the outfield is a bit of a mess here. Jock Peterson has this tantalizing skill set. I mean, listen to these numbers back in 2014 in Albuquerque. 33 home runs, 30 stolen bases, hit 303. Comes up to the majors and the power's there. 26 home runs and 25. But the average is not. He had 210 and 246. And where's the speed? Where's the speed? So power there, speed not, can't hit lefties. The Dodgers brought in Franklin Gutierrez. Why? Because he really hits lefties very well. And Scott Van Slyke is there. He hits lefties well too. And Trace Thompson's there. He hits lefties too. So let me tell you my expectation. I don't think the Dodgers can do it, but if they could, they would. The Dodgers would have 6 outfielders, a right-hand hitting guys and the left-hand hitting guys. In, out, shuffle one, move the other. Right? Tolles, Peterson, Puig once, Gutierrez, Van Slyke, Trace Thompson for the others. All right, let's talk about Yasiel Puig. Do you know he's only 26 years old? And I know he's a force. Great athlete, great arm. Has some speed, even though we really haven't seen a ton of stolen bases. Has power, even though we haven't seen a ton of power. But he doesn't care. And I want guys on my team who care. I want guys on my team who will bleed to be on my team. I need that. I want that. I demand that. I will never draft Puig because I just don't see him really wanting to be out there. I want guys who have limited ability but play the maximum to the most of their limited ability, not guys who have maximum ability who don't do enough. Wouldn't you want that in a work environment? Do you want the brilliant guy who's lazy, or do you want the medium guy who works his butt off? You want the medium guy who works his butt off. That's what I want. Andrew Tolles is interesting. There's speed there. Not a ton, but there's some. He looked very good in a short audition last year. He's 24. Hits very well against righties. I'd like to see more of him. Do I trust him? No. Do I like him? A little bit. Enough to put as a reserve round? Sure. The Dodgers have arguably the best closer in the game in Kenley Jansen. The guy's a beast. He's a beast. His whip I'll give you his whip since 2010. 1.0, 1.04, 0.85, 0.86, 1.13, 0.78, 0.67. Oh my God. Last year he had 104 strikeouts to 11 walks. That's unheard of. That's unheard of. 35 hits in 69 innings. That's crazy. Crazy. So yes, I love Kenley Jansen. I like him more than Chapman. I do. So the rest of the bullpen, Pedro Baez, okay. Sergio Romo, I like him. Not the greatest bullpen. Okay, not a special one. I like Yimi Garcia, but he's out. Right? He was a pretty good player. You know, another Tommy John kind of guy, sadly. But I think Sergio Romo was a very big pickup by this team. He's a good pitcher when he can find the plate. And Pedro Baez is a very good pitcher as well. So they've got some guys in there to get to Jansen. But I think if there's a weakness, they will find another guy. Maybe Houston Street, maybe David Robertson. They'll need another guy to make a playoff run. Let's take a look at the starting pitching. So we can't talk about the Dodgers without talking Clayton Kershaw. He's obviously the number one guy, the number one pitcher in fantasy baseball. He could even be the first pick in a head-to-head league. He's absolutely a star. I mean, what more can we say? Yes, he's got a back issue, but I'm not worried about the back issue. I will take my shot with Clayton Kershaw. I will take. The guy had 172 strikeouts, 149 innings. He had 11 walks. He had a whip of .72. I mean, are you kidding me? That's just freak nature. So you can tell me about the back all you want. If I'm picking 4, 5, 6, 7 in the draft, I'm looking at Kershaw. Now, I probably would take him 8 overall over Manny Machado, but I like him. I do. And I hope you do too. And I love him in head-to-head leagues because the week that he has 2 starts, you're winning. Now, the Dodgers have a lot of lefties in their rotation, and their number 2 guy is Rich Hill. Rich Hill has had a renaissance at the end of his career here. The guy's 36 years old. Don't you remember him when he was with the Cubs and then with the Red Sox? I mean, he's been very up and down. Not special, but he was special last year. I don't trust players like that. I don't think you get a renaissance in your career at 36 years old. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm going to be right more often than not. So I may be wrong, but I'm going to be right more often than not, and I'll pass on Rich Hill. Kenta Maeda, though, I'm not passing on. I love Japanese pitchers. Love them. I love their mindset. I love how much they care. I love Maeda. I do. I really do. He was good last year, but I think he can be better. He's 28. I think he can be better. He lit up 20 home runs. I'm sure he's pissed off about that. I expect fewer home runs. He lit up 50 walks. I think he'll get fewer than that. I think this is a guy who certainly is not going in the 5th round, but I think he has 5th round type of value. Probably get him in somewhere about the 7th round, but if you took him in the 6th, I have no problem with that. I like him. Julio Urias is 20 years old, and he's the next great pitcher in the Dodgers organization. But a lot of people are going to go, look, this guy can't throw more than 150 innings. So let's talk about this for a second. I'm all right with that. Most pitchers will throw, great pitchers will throw around 200 to 220 innings. If Urias throws 140, and I need 220, I need to find another guy who could throw 80 innings. But I don't have to worry about that just yet. I can let things unfold, let Urias pitch, get his 140 to 150 innings, which should get me somewhere around August 1, give or take a day or two. In August 1, by that point, I'll find myself another pitcher who will get 80 innings the rest of the way and pair with him. And what did I just create? I just created a really good pitcher. So that's how I want you to look at it. Don't look at Urias and say, no, he's not going to throw enough innings. Look at him and saying the innings that he throws are really going to be good. What he does, he's going to do well. Don't think of it as he's not going to do enough. Glass half full, not glass half empty. Now for the Dodgers, the rest of the team here, Scott Kazmir, Hyun-Jin Ryu. I like Alex Wood. Alex Wood has always been on my radar, but he can't seem to stay healthy. What if he could? Only 60 innings last year. But his whip is always decent. His ERA is always decent. He's a good pitcher. He's only 26. Please, if he stays healthy, he could be a great number 5. Or a guy to stash if they go with Ryu or Kazmir. And when Urias is out, Wood comes in. Boom, I pair them together. I'm good. Think about that, guys. Think about that strategy. Don't not take Kershaw because of the back. And watch Alex Wood with Urias as like a combo platter. I think that could really help you in fantasy leagues. All right? But right now, what I can help you do is tell you to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. I encourage you to go to scoutfantasy.com, enter the promo code ROTO, that's ROTO. You pay for 1 month, we'll get you 2 more for free. We'll get you access to these podcasts, to my articles, to Adam Ronis' player profiles, to Sean Childs' team outlooks. We've got Cappy and Kick for hockey. We've got Ryan Barra for golf. We've got Y2 Casey for MMA. We've got Nate Weitzer for basketball. We've got a basketball optimizer. And you know what? You pay one price and you get all the sports. We don't it's not a la carte menu. I'll take one of this and 2 of that. No, you get it all. You get it all at Scout Fantasy. So we're very proud of our product and we're proud of what we're doing. And we'd like you to be part of the Scout Army. All right, guys, back next time talking more baseball with you. Wishing you a great day. Be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!